Welcome to Walk the Talk podcast with Oliver Nshom. This is a very special edition, and our guest is all the way from Canada. Bonjour, Irene.
Hi, Oliver. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. In the Walk the Talk podcast with Oliver Nshom, we interview trailblazers, entrepreneurs, corporate trainers, keynote speakers from all around the world. And we are so graced to have with us here in the United States of America, Irene, all the way from Canada. And how do you feel, Irene, being here in the Walk the Talk podcast?
It's an honor for me to be here, Oliver. I
Awesome.
definitely love what you do on this podcast. I've watched several editions, and it's an honor to be one of your guests. I'm looking forward to the conversation tonight.
Awesome. And we're going to be talking nothing but your story. I love your story, Irene. Your story of resilience, perseverance, focus, determination. How you've been able to move from rejection to a global speaker. And here are you today in the United States. And you just delivered. By the way, congratulations for your powerful, energetic keynote on your 6 C's. I love what you did, and I'm so proud of you. So, how did you feel after your keynote and with the standing ovation you received from your audience?
Thank you once again, Oliver. It was a great time at Amplify Your Impact event where I got to connect with other professional speakers and international speakers that basically listening to them and the feedback after my presentation. I was very touched, very humbled, and excited for the future, because when you go to an event and you put your whole heart into preparation and then you present and you realize how the audience are moved, they're touched, and the feedback is great. There's so many points that takeaways that is derived from my presentation. That to me is huge, and I do not take that for granted. Just tells me that there are many more, locations and people in the global space that need to hear this presentation. And I'm looking forward to another opportunity to talk to other audiences.
Yeah. Did you notice something? I noticed something in the course of your presentation, Irene. Before you were done, there was one American speaker, John, if I got it right. He was already on his feet clapping, and that was a standing ovation, and the rest of the people in the hall, they joined and they clapped. So that is something that was not usual. Like any other speaker that presented, I did not feel that effect. And I was wondering what made him to just. And I remember when he was giving the testimony of your session, he talked about almost everybody that he fitted himself into your story. Into your story. And I was like, this was really powerful. And of course, it was my first time seeing you physically to talk to people, and you really, really impressed me with your presentation. Now, I've read a couple of your articles on the internet, and I love your songs. I love what you're doing as an author. Let me know, when did this start?
The writing, well, I've been writing many years, even before I got to Canada. I wrote poems. I won awards in Cameroon as a creative writer. At the University of Boya, I was featured in a book by the Faculty of Arts, and that book was titled That Rocky Place. It was an anthology of different writings from different authors. It could be poetry or short stories. And I actually won the third prize. And that actually, I used that money to pay my fees that year. It was amazing, because the passion for writing has always been inborn. I loved that. And then I actually did literature. I did the modern letters as well, so I love writing. Then I went to the University of Boya as a journalist, and that's a lot of writing, right? So that is me in what I love to do in collaboration with my education, just made it even more powerful. So when I left the university, I went abroad for my further studies, went to the University of Norway. While I was there as well, I did anthropology, visual anthropology, which is a combination of film, ethnographic filmmaking, and anthropology. So I got to get into connecting with people and also writing the stories. So I loved that. But my very first book was published, I wrote that in 2011, and that was at the lowest point in my life. The book is titled Phone Call in the Rain, Inspirational Journey to the Heart of a Growing Born-Again Mother. That is when I was going through a very big relationship crisis, while at the same time nursing a newborn baby and my less than 2-year-old son. So I wrote that book as a series of reflections, and the book is about 200 and something pages. So it's a big book. Every chapter is like a story on its own, but it touches on different things.
Okay, so there's just a lot in you that I would love our audience to explore out there. Even before we get to the book, right? Irene is just so many things in one, but very focused, very, very focused. Now, I know you're an author, you're a coach, you're a keynote speaker. And apart from all of that, what are the other things you do? Because it's good that our audience also know who Irene is.
Right. Well, I am also a gospel minister. So I have 2 gospel music albums, award-winning as well. I've won 2 awards in gospel music from the Kilimanjaro Music Awards in Toronto 2017 and 2019 respectively. I received the Best Gospel Artist Awards. And so I love to sing. Singing is something that puts me in connection with God, my creator, because I'm a big Christian as well. I love God. I'm nothing without God, and I'm unapologetic about that. And in my music as well, it's more of me worshiping, praising God, and also using the songs to empower people, to worship, and also empower them to overcome challenges, and empower them to learn how to be grateful in life. So these songs, some of them are a reflection of my personal testimonies and experiences of when I connected to God in challenging times. Some of them are songs that just appreciate God for the strength that He gives me to go through everyday challenges. So I'm also a member of my choir in church. I'm a children's church teacher as well in my church. And then, of course, I'm a mother. You ask me what are the other things I do. I live the life of motherhood. Motherhood is it's like a career on itself. So every single day I wake up and I have to model a lifestyle to my children. So those are some of the things I do. Raising kids. I also love to travel. I'm a travel evangelist. I'm also an MC. So I'm MC for different events. I actually was an MC for the book published by the Cameroon High Commission to Canada in 2012, and I also was also featured in that book. So I can MC events. It could be book launches, graduation ceremonies, it could be weddings and what have you. So like you rightly said, I do wear so many hats and very focused at every one of them.
Yeah, I love that. And so today you're actually here in the US on an invitation to speak at an event, which was an international event, and you did a great job, which I appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
How did you begin your career? I've learned a lot from you, watched your YouTube videos, your Facebook videos, and you at a certain point in your career you had a very challenging stage, but then you did not quit. Like, you kept on going. And here are you today speaking all around the world. So what kept you going despite the pain, the challenges, the circumstances that were surrounding your life at a particular time?
The moment I caught the purpose that I have in life to fulfill, that was the beginning of my resilience. Dr. Miles Monroe says, the greatest tragedy in life is not death. The greatest tragedy in life is living a life without purpose. You see, when you have a purpose and you fulfill your purpose, and even if you die, that purpose continues to live. It outlives you because that was why you were called. But you may be going through challenges in life and it feels like the whole world is falling apart. If you focus on the challenge, that challenge becomes your purpose.
Okay.
If you focus on adversity, adversity becomes your purpose.
Yeah.
But when you have a focus on the purpose, adversity, you will realize that adversity is just a distraction. And it's a matter of time for that adversity to pass. So what defines you as a person that pursues purpose and a person that quits easily is how much resilience you can mount against adversity. So when I knew that I was called, I had a bigger calling to leave a global impact, transforming lives, bringing people out of darkness into light, bringing people out of the brink of depression, suicide, out of giving up on their dreams, out of just, fading away and just becoming statistics instead of becoming contributors to the world in which we live. Because God created every single individual to contribute. God is a creator. He created you so you can become a creator as well. We carry creation DNAs in us. So every time adversity comes, there are two ways. You either respond to it like a victim or you address it like a victor. Right? So the latter is what I did. I've looked at adversity, as painful as it was, as unstoppable as it appeared, with the eyes of a victor, with the eyes of someone that is going to go through. And then I kept referring to the word of God. That was what kept me going. Reminding myself, I had to look at David, the days of his trials. I looked at Joseph. Joseph was a big one for me. I love Joseph because at the time I was going through my challenges, I was actually living in a basement. And that basement, raising my two babies, sleeping on the floor on a mattress with my newborn baby breastfeeding, and everything looked so dark around me. It looked like I was never going to come out of that hole. I reminded myself of Joseph in the dungeon where he was. And I told myself that after that he came out and he was governor of Egypt. So there's no way I was going to remain in that basement. I convinced myself against all the odds that were glaring. There was every reason for me to quit and nobody would judge me for quitting, because there seemed to be no hope for me. Did you hear what I said? I could quit and nobody would judge me. It was okay for me to carry my children to a shelter and stay there and just depend on handouts from the government to survive. And I'm not judging anyone who goes through that. Everybody has their journey. But for me at that time, it was important for me to believe what the Lord had revealed to me, that I had a great calling to impact the world, change lives. And if I had to depend on that same God, he was going to bring me through. And that's exactly what happened. And while I was there, I learned the lessons. What are the things I can do better for myself? How can I improve on myself? How can I make better decisions in my life? How can I model the life of an overcomer to my children? Because how I managed adversities and even still manage adversities today would also dictate to my children how they are going to manage adversities in future. I want to raise high impact children as well. High achieving children. Children that will remember their mother as a mom that did not quit. Although we slept on the floor at some times, although I had to go to the dollar store to get cookies to feed them at some time, but they know that mom was doing this to go up, not doing this to stay down. So that is what brought me out. And in that same basement, I wrote my first book.
Wow.
In that same basement, I wrote my songs. My first album came out, and later on the second album, and now I have a second book. And I told myself there's no basement below a basement. You can only go up. And I came out of that. After 3 years, I came out of the basement. The stories are many. Time will not permit us, but I want to just say that what made me come out of adversity was the purpose I had. The lives of people that I could not use any excuse to sacrifice. For me, when I think about, or I thought about the bigger picture, the people that were ahead of me, the people that depended, even in that basement, people were reaching out to me, trying to kill themselves, going through, suicidal experiences, and just coming out to me and say, I read something you posted on social media. I feel like talking to you. And I will not even look at my circumstances. I will just coach them, mentor them, pray with them, encourage them, and they'll come out of these situations. So I looked at myself and said, wait a minute. Now I understand why, adversity is so interested in me. I am also interested in me. Because like they say, nobody throws stones on a tree that bears no fruits.
Sure.
So for adversity to come to anybody, it is a big opportunity for you to turn that pain around into purpose. Yep. It doesn't just come to anybody. There are people that would like to buy your story just so that they can have something negative to say about their life, something painful. Because everything they've known is they were born, they lived in a beautiful house, they had everything going, they ate 4 square meals, they had clothes, they had shoes, they went to university, they graduated. A university was paid for them to go abroad. They went, they got married, they had kids. And then they're looking at you and you're like, there was a time I didn't have shoes in university. I had one pair of shoes for the whole semester. And then you can't make these things up. For me, my scars are my stars. They're my treasures.
Wow.
So that part of my journey is something I will never trade for anything in the world. Although at that time, I felt like it was a disadvantage, was like, why me? But when I got to key into my purpose and design the future that I want from my mind, even before it manifested, it gradually started manifesting eventually.
That's deep, man. And no doubt you are so unstoppable. I love your energy, I love your passion. And I'm like, wow. I am inspired listening to you anytime. And anytime I listen to you, I just love your positive energy, getting things done. That's a great story of adversity. I'm looking forward to your TED book. Now,
it's coming up.
What was the moment in your life, in your career as a speaker, corporate trainer, and one-on-one coach, where you really felt that what I'm doing is giving hope to people, what I'm doing is touching lives? When was that year? When was that moment that happened to you?
In my professional career as a life coach, I have actually, there are some two testimonials that you will see actually if you go to my website, you will see them, and one of them meant a lot to me. When I offered a free coaching opportunity to two different ladies, one of them was totally in Africa, one was right here in North America. I offered a free coaching opportunity to them, and they jumped on it. We went on several sessions, and then in just less than 3 months within the coaching sessions that I was offering, one of the clients actually designed a business, created a business plan, pitched the business to me as her first audience, and started making money.
Wow.
And she had so many gifts. This is a lady that had spent about 10 years, 10 years of her life, meeting people that were over-promising and under-delivering. She was even fed up with coaches and spent so much money and wasn't really getting results. I believe that there's no unproductive coach. You just have to find your right fit.
Yeah.
Right? So all coaches are excellent, but she just was not meeting the right people. So she happened to be at one of my live events, and then decided to sign in, and I offered a free. So she took it because she's like, I'm not paying more money, but if she's offering free, let me take it. But it turned out to be such a turning point in her life. She opened up to so many possibilities, so many potentials inside of her. She's looking forward to bigger things in future, to even, taking her purpose to a different level. This was very touching to me, and I told myself, what if I had not decided to pursue my own purpose as a coach? What would have happened to this lady? 10 years, a whole decade of going around in circles, nailed down in less than 3 months. Wow. And then another lady that was actually not only suicidal, but about to quit a position as a director of a company because of negativity and so much conflict at her workplace. And I also offered free coaching to her, and guess what? In less than a month, she was able to turn all the negative people at her workplace into raving fans from the coaching experience. And oh my goodness, I'm talking about it, I'm feeling goosebumps right now just talking about this other lady, because I see how, I could turn an executive, a business executive, from a quitter to a re-energized, reloaded leader. And working on her mindset, even working on her own personality, on how she responded to criticism, that is also big for me, because I also I also use that for corporate training as well. Stakeholder accountability, that's a big topic that I use for corporate trainings. Yes, so this experience, this particular two individuals, when I think about them, I'm so touched. And then I'll give you another one, which is a little bit before these two individuals. I had a lady that was just about to commit suicide. She had planned how she was going to do it, what she was going to use, the time and the date, and then she just swiped through Facebook and read something on my timeline and decided to reach out to me on my inbox and said, hey, can I talk to you? And I connected with her one-on-one, and she said, you have given me faith in humanity again. I was at the point of killing myself, and I read something that you wrote, and I felt like you were trustworthy for me to reach out to. I had decided to read other things that you've been writing. I saw consistency in the things that you've been writing, and I realized that you have so much love for people. So I feel like I want to share this story with you. Maybe it's because of you that I'm still alive, because I really wanted to kill myself at this day, at this time. I talked to her, and when I shared my personal experiences with this lady, she started even looking at me like, how on earth do you look so positive on social media and you've been through this kind of thing in your past? I cannot believe. She even started telling me that she felt like she was ungrateful because she felt like even what she was going through was not as intense as what I had gone through. And I told her that there's a reason. I'm not judging her, because we all have different capacities to carry adversity. But I want to let you know that no matter the adversity you're facing, and I'm saying the same thing to anyone who's watching, no matter the adversity you're facing, there is a way out if you do not check out. Okay. There's always a way out if you don't check out. So I'm happy, and this lady today is married with 3 children, happily married, and I'm telling myself, what if I had just listened to negative people say, oh, social media is for people who don't have something important to do with their lives. Oh, these people on Facebook. It depends what you do on Facebook. And that's part of the place where I contact a lot of my clients. I would say 70 to 80% of the clients that I coach or speak at their events, I knew them through Facebook. Because I'm there, I'm intentional about my activities on Facebook. And that's how a life was saved.
Wow. I remember the first time I met you on Facebook, it was some years ago. It was because of your works. I used to kind of comment on your work, and I just used to admire the positive energy, the songs you used to sing, and the speaking gigs, the trainings, the coaching programs you used to give to people, and the testimony was so amazing, and I just loved that. So those who are watching and writing, I'm also listening and learning quite a lot from you. What are the advice? We have a lot of young men out there, young ladies, and people out there are going through a lot right now. So as we talk right now, they want to commit suicide. There are millions of people every day that have the temptation to commit suicide. And people are going through a lot in life. In fact, I just came through a statistic that stipulated, you wouldn't believe that out of every 10 people, at least 6, they are looking for happiness.
Yes, that's true.
And I was like, yeah, that's true. It means that out of 10 people you see on the road, 6 of them, they are craving and yearning for love, just for somebody to show them love. And people are going through just a lot out there. So what are the lessons you can share with the people watching us right now, but especially the younger generations, on how they can leverage on the adversity to succeed in life?
Thank you very much for that question. It's very important. It is very important for every individual, male, female, youth, families, entrepreneurs, leaders, corporate spaces, or even in the faith-based organizations, important for them to understand who they are, first of all. Who are you? When you know who you are, it doesn't matter who says what, you will stick to who you are. But if you do not know who you are, people will tell you what you're not, and you'll believe it, and you internalize it, and you'll get depressed by it, and your purpose will not be fulfilled. For me, I know I'm a chosen generation, a holy priesthood, a royal nation, and God called me. If the creator of the universe called me, who is that person that can say otherwise? If the creator of the universe created me in his image, for me, I use scripture for me as my foundation, my base for the amplification of my voice. Because I'll tell every young person, be proud of who you are. You are not a statistic. It doesn't matter how you were born, whether you were born out of wedlock, whether you were born out of some kind of situation that you're not very proud of. But I want you to know that provision was made for you. No matter where you showed up from, how you showed up, but because you are here, your feet touch the ground, you own it. You have the right to be in this world. Nobody has any right to tell you that you don't belong here in this world, or that your dreams are not valid. It doesn't matter whether right now you're struggling to find food to eat or shelter over your head, you're struggling, to be accepted. You don't have to struggle anymore. After listening to this, I want you to go back, sit back and tell yourself, I am here because I matter. I'm going somewhere and I'm going to get to it no matter what comes my way. With that mindset, when adversity comes, you will see every stumbling block as a stepping stone to your next level. When adversity comes, you realize that it's not coming to break you, but to build you. When adversity comes, you realize that it's not coming to wipe you out, but to give you an opportunity to showcase your strength. Let me give you an example. It doesn't matter how much your father loves you. You're just 5 years old. Your father cannot give you a BMW to go and drive and head on the highway. Because that's a recipe for a car crash, right? You're going to die. If your father loves you, he's going to allow you to train yourself, learn how to drive. You may start with a junk car, you hit it everywhere, you break it, you crash it, your father, and you feel like, my dad is so rich, why is he not giving me a BMW or the latest Mercedes-Benz or Range Rover? No publicity intended. The reason why he's not giving you is because he wants you to grow. He wants you to be, skilled enough, so that when he lets you out there, you're not going to crash yourself to death, right? So when those adversities are coming, look at them in this way. Respond to every live event, with the intended outcome in mind. When they come, tell yourself, okay, this is my training. I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to go through this. I'll come out on the other end. I'll be better. I'll be bigger. I'll be stronger. I'll be more resilient. I'll be wiser. I'll be more loving. Sometimes adversity comes to also tame your character, to help humble you, right? So you can build character so that when you go out there and you're talking to other people, you are a model of what you're talking about. People look at you, they're like, yeah, I like her attitude. I like his attitude. So my advice to you today, never quit. Don't ever let anybody push you to the point where you want to take your own life. Know that no matter the best situation that you lost, the best is still to come. And no matter what you have lost in life, the fact that you overcame the negative impact of that loss is already a big win. So for me, I lost many things, right? But I don't look at that like, oh, I lost. I look at the fact that I overcame the impact of those losses. And I was strong. I've lost loved ones. I lost my mom, lost my eldest sister. I've lost so many dear people in my life, my dad, right? But what can I say? The fact that the impact of all those losses could have kept me in one corner, depressed and sad and crying every single day. But the fact that I overcame the impact of all these losses and other forms of adversity means that I'm a winner. So I want you to also look at your life in that way. The young people should look at themselves as winners. Every time you see a situation coming, tell yourself, I'm a winner. I'm going to win this. Say I'm a winner even before you even go through it. You realize that your mindset will be programmed in such a way that resilience will become 5 and 6 to you.
Wow, I love that. And I listen to a lot of podcasts these days, and I watched an interview where Frank Edward was interviewed, and he says everybody's a champion, but you just need that one opportunity. And I'm glad that you hit the opportunity. Like, your presentation was good. I still come back talking about the presentation you delivered today. So again, somebody says that when you are prepared for opportunities, when they come, you will be revealed. Yes. But when you don't prepare for the opportunities, when they come, you'll be exposed. The good thing is that these opportunities will always come, whether you are prepared or not. Yeah. So the question is, are you going to be exposed or you're going to be revealed? Those are some thoughts to reflect on, even as we draw the curtains of this podcast for today. So what is your last take home for those who are listening to us right now, even as we wrap up, Irene?
My takeaway once again is, do not look at adversity as a misfortune. Look at adversity as an opportunity to showcase the muscles that you have inside of you. How would you lift a 100 kg if you've never tried a 5 kg? So your adversity right now may be at the level of a 5 kg. Maybe someone else is facing their 100 kg adversity. But what matters is that you do not drop your first 5 kgs because you think that is too heavy. And I would say, don't quit, never quit. Quitters never win, winners never quit. So if you want to quit, then you're opting out from being a winner. But if you want to win, you will also not opt out of the fight. You will fight all the way until you win. So those are my final words. Keep pushing.
I love that. And ladies and gentlemen, keep pushing wherever you're around the world. This was the Walk the Talk podcast with Oliver Nshom. And today we had an amazing guest from Canada, Irene Asanji, a personal development coach, a keynote speaker, and corporate trainer. Of course, author, songwriter, and you can name a few. Thank you so much for listening. If this inspires you, share with somebody. If this inspires you, like, comment. Let us know what you picked out from this amazing podcast session we had. And until we meet again next week, keep on walking the talk and stay blessed wherever you are. See you at the top. Cheers. And thank you so much, Irene, for joining up in this our session. God bless you. That was a lot you gave out there to our audience.
You're welcome.
Look forward to having you again in one of the series.
It will be a treat being on show, on set again with you in future. Thank you so much, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Great. Awesome. Okay, guys. See you.